Flomax! Ugh!
Oh, it's going to be one of them shows. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Technically Speaking...
Oh, amateur hour. God, I hate you.
The one thing that I forgot to do, mute my speakers. Hey, everybody.
There's a lot of things we forgot this week.
Well, you know, like any form of research. This is the Technically Speaking live show. Each week, my partner to my right, Scott, and myself, the currently lumbersexual Greg, talk about technology and, I don't know, just interesting stuff that happens that particular week.
It is going to be
there.
It is going to be a
look,
spicy show.
So if you follow me on Twitter, I tweeted out earlier today in between meetings because I was in meetings literally from 8:30, 9 o'clock a.m. until 3:30, 4 o'clock p.m.
The choir by,
the whole time.
The choir by which you preach. I feel you. Dude,
So,
that is my life. Although today...
For real.
Today I did not have that many. But I had copious amounts of communications I had to put out. Like...
Emails.
Oh.
.jpg.
Oh, emails.
So on Twitter, I put out the fact that this was going to be a show that was going to come in for a real hot landing. And brother, I ain't kidding, because we have done very minimal preparation for the show.
As a matter of fact, I was actually trying to figure out. I'll tie this back into the show in a second.
Yeah.
So I was doing a No Socials November. So I very, very quickly violated the No Socials November on Instagram. Failed it. I'm back on Instagram.
Did you make it a week?
I don't even care. No.
Didn't even make it a week.
Don't
so
even
what you're
care.
saying is my dumb phone challenge. I beat you.
Well, so I'm not. So you beat me 50%. I am not back on Twitter because that place is just a dumpster fire of toxic waste. It's still
I like
it's
Twitter.
still way more awesome than Facebook. Way more awesome than Facebook.
I feel like that's not hard to do. But
Well, it's true. And
The
then
irony-
and then there's Google Plus.
pour one out for your homies.
R.I.P. We could talk about that. I'm really kind of bummed about
Yeah,
that.
let's talk about it.
But yeah, so I was trying to find the right below right here. You'll see that there is a lower thirds that
There
I
is.
think is currently stuck, which is great. It's perfect
It's par for the course at this point.
because I changed my Instagram name.
Hey! The Everyday Dad is here. I'm pretty sure live streaming counts as social.
Okay, hang on. When I said No Social November, and you know this, and so does Stats.
But I'm just saying, by the letter of the law, I do believe he is technically
We're
correct.
gonna go with this, are we? I'm telling you right now. I said I'm going to continue to do YouTube.
Okay,
I said I was going to do. I said I was going to continue YouTube.
Okay,
But I was going to get off of Instagram and Twitter because it was a time suck. And by the way, it absolutely is unequivocally a time suck.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you from all the way over here on Reddit. So I feel your pain, Mr.
Oh
Thompson.
yeah. So yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So I got off Twitter, which I found.
Totes my
so
goats.
after like the 4 or 5 days that I was off of Instagram, what I discovered was I'm way more interested in Instagram because right now I'm getting really heavy into like photography and Adobe Lightroom and Adobe Photoshop and those type of things, and I'm connecting to so many more awesome creators on Instagram, and I could care less about Twitter. Like I have
so funny.
no desire to go back to Twitter at all because I spent way too much time on Twitter, like by a lot. But I spend like my time is more focused on Instagram is what I found. It's like I'm on it looking for some sweet, awesome photography and videography. I can't see the comments.
I know, it's the best part.
I don't even. I can't see it because you still have yet to do the thing that you said you were going to do the thing over there.
Oh, we'll talk about that.
Oh,
one.
I bet we will.
Yeah. We'll talk about that one. So, gotta welcome to the live show, Mr. Jeff Kreider. Appreciate you stopping by.
Wow, a
Awesome.
Jeff Kreider reference?
Yeah.
Sighting.
Jeff Kreider sighting in the wild.
In the wild.
Yes. Gotta
I
catch
can't
them
see
all.
underneath this table.
The Everyday Dad.
I went there.
He says, so it's hashtag kind of social November.
I got a hashtag for you.
This is a family-friendly show.
I have
Just
a
remember that.
no. I have a hashtag. I still have your GoPro, and I have not forgotten.
Yeah.
I will be doing the Frozone challenge. We have just got to do it. Like
You gotta just
October.
have the time for me. That's the
October
worst
was
part.
a month where I traveled copiously,
yeah.
a lot. So I went from Ohio to Florida, back to Ohio, and then 5 days later went to New York,
Yep.
and then came back for another like 12 days, and then I went to California, and then came back. So I've been back in Ohio, not even quite a week yet.
You hear everybody who feels bad for your.
Oh no, I don't want you to feel bad.
Jet-setting lifestyle.
No, literally, I don't want you to feel bad.
important that I have to travel with.
Fun story. When I was in California, the reason why I was out there, that company booked a car for me, and I thought it was a gag at first. It was a big body Cadillac Escalade. I thought it was a gag.
That's hilarious.
And so I rode in the back of a big body Cadillac.
Big body Cadillac inside a big body Cadillac. It's turtles all the way down. There's a deep sci-fi reference for it.
I don't even know what that means.
Yeah. Yeah. No. We also have Miss Sheila in the audience, so we appreciate you stopping by. As always, Miss Sheila. Miss Sheila and I have been having moments on Twitter because she's been tweeting at me and responding to my twits. So I appreciate
that's literally not the right word. It's tweets.
My twits.
It's your tweets.
So I'm all in on the social November, whatever. It's not an addiction. I can quit whenever I want to. I don't even care. What? So it's been
that hurts my brain.
It's been a while since we've had a live show. We missed 2 of them consecutively.
2 weeks ago, I was so sick. I'm actually still kind of fighting it.
Yeah.
Time goes.
Doesn't stop him from singing.
See, I got it back. I got the pipes back. Trying to get that pipe.
All of us are just so excited about that. And then last week you were in California, so we couldn't do a live stream then.
Well, I mean, you could have, but you're completely inept to doing without me.
I mean, something like that.
Plus, I also have the machine that does it. I literally have all the graphics and everything set up on this machine, which was with me.
Talking to the IT guy that created the lower thirds and could probably get a workable facsimile up pretty quickly.
I'm not saying you couldn't. I'm just saying you didn't.
Mystery Root says he's a twit. I think he's talking about you.
Look, I'm impressed. This guy right here put up a video this week.
Hey,
Welcome back to content creation.
Thanks. It's been a while, but I like to think that I never left. So,
oh my head.
Oh God, this is gonna be the singing episode. So yeah, last week I put out.
We should do one of those.
No, we should not. No one wants to listen to us sing for however long we do this. So I put up a video earlier this week.
It was a good one.
Yeah. About portable batteries. If you've ever been interested in buying a portable battery for like recharging your phone, your laptop, your iPad, whatever, man, there's some lessons we learned in the process of preparing for the vacation that we took, the trip to New York, like all of this traveling that we've done. Uncovered some interesting nuggets, like all of the various ways in which the TSA can steal your stuff. Legally. Perfectly legally.
Had a situation with TSA on my way back.
Yeah.
They go, remove all your iPads, all your...
Yeah.
I have TSA pre-check, so I'm not removing anything.
Yeah.
When they're like, well, you gotta remove... Well, where I flew out of, they didn't have pre-check, even though I had pre-check. It was a smaller airport. Let's just say it was an airport in California that's not very large, that doesn't have pre-check, which it's in California. Why don't you have it? The point is, they go, remove your iPads. I go, okay. And so I took out my stuff, and I sat it in there. And they go, you didn't remove your iPad. I go, I don't have an iPad to remove.
Yeah.
Well, they go, we'll remove your tablet. I go, I still don't have one of those either. You, and Stats knows this too, is I have a battery pack that's a flat battery pack, but it's about the size of a tablet. It's a battery pack. It is not a tablet.
Yeah.
To remove your tablet. I don't have one. I have a battery pack. We'll remove that. And then they ran through my bag twice.
Yeah.
Because evidently the battery pack really threw them off. Like
really
like brain melting threw them off.
Well, oh my God.
I don't have time for their fake security theater. I don't have time for this.
The TSA is probably one of the gnarliest hot button topics. If you ever want to get Scott and I going, just talk about the TSA. I will go for days on how much I just loathe everything about the TSA.
How about the fact that when we were going to Florida, we have all of our children in tow. I go through the thing. It makes no noise. They pull me off to the side and they go, we're screening you. I go, for what? And he goes, hold out your palms.
Yeah.
What does that even mean?
Yeah.
And I go, he goes, turn them over. No, the other way.
Doing the Macarena.
Like, what am I doing? And then he swabs them. I go, what is that for? Explosives. What? What?
They're afraid that you're wearing a fat suit and that it's all C4 in there.
Look, I assure you that I'm wearing a fat suit. It's just full of fat. It's just fat, guys.
Yeah.
It's just copious amounts of burgers and fries and regular Coke when I was growing up.
So when
God,
I went
hot
through, so we went down. We went to Florida the day before you guys did, right?
Yep.
So on the way down, the day before, I was cleaning up outside and managed to, I got a weird shoulder, right? So I'm lifting something up, tweaked my shoulder just right. I couldn't move it. I was like, oh, this is going to be a challenge for several days 2 weeks in Florida. I don't know how I'm going to do this. Like, it hurt substantially. I couldn't lift my arm.
Yeah, I know.
So go through TSA, and of course I get selected randomly. I think it's because of the beard. Yeah, I look like a terrorist. To go through whatever additional whatever, and you have to do the thing where you stand in the
terrorist from Canada.
Yeah, whatever. My lumbersexual terrorist self. Yeah,
Hey.
that's right. Hey, it's also Italian, stereotypical Guido. Going downhill rapidly. So anyway, so you have to do the thing where you stand in a little glass, whatever, and you put your hands up like this, and then the little thing flies in front of you and takes your picture. Yeah. But I'm like, I can't lift my... I'm like, I can do this one, but I can't lift my arm up. They're like, well, you need to lift your arm up. I'm like, what? I can't... This doesn't work right now, so I can do this if you want. They're like, no, you have to lift your arm up. Is there some facet of the English language when I say I am unable to physically do that you're not following me on with this one? Yeah. Pretty much. Drives me crazy. Also, Mr. Jeff Kreider says, I was stopped at the TSA for a half bag of coffee ground because apparently coffee grounds are used for drug smuggling.
True
Makes
story.
sense. Dogs.
No, I was going to say, true story. It is used to smuggle drugs.
Yeah.
Also, you typically are supposed to take the coffee grounds and put them in your pocket.
Is that how that works?
No. I don't know. I don't smuggle drugs.
I figured you had all this inside information, Cheech.
Oh boy, Stats got a question. That was just an okay one. All right then. That's a spicy meatball.
Hey, at least you aren't paying their salaries, right, brother?
Who said that?
The everyday dad.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
No,
not comment. Look. I appreciate... Oh, since this is the day before, let me take the moment to wish all of my veteran brothers and sisters out there a very happy Veterans Day. I do appreciate your service. And I even appreciate the people that are... Like, if you're employed by the TSA, I ain't mad at you. Like, you're just doing your job. I get it. I have a problem with the policies and the overall intent. I don't like security theater.
Correct.
That's my problem. So if you're in the TSA and you happen to be watching this, I'm not mad at you, man.
Nope.
I'm just mad at your boss.
Correct. And that's my problem is like they could do something much more efficient to
Effective.
make the airports just suck less. Look, we're all herded like cattle to get in a very small space tube to go 500 space tube
Yeah.
with wings
Yeah.
and get served no longer peanuts.
No.
It's
come on now.
pretzels.
Yeah.
So I can get dry mouth like a just a person. And
Just
then,
a regular, normal, average.
And
everyday
then
person.
I get a full cup of ice and a splash of Coke.
Yeah.
I want a full can of Coke.
I am an adult. I want a can of Coke.
I want a full can of Coke and a splash of ice, and not a tiny cup. This is America.
Have you seen
I want it all.
Have you seen the South Park episode where what's his name? Stan's dad is like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I thought this was America."
No.
Oh my god, it's so great.
America.
I use that reference a lot.
Okay.
Anyway, so that's enough
We
complaining
are
out of
a
us.
mess.
For
We are
sure.
20 minutes into the show and we've talked
you'll have
about
that.
no technology except for TSA.
We have
scanning your wiener.
Jesus. So it's been a while since we've done a live show. I think we've missed out on... We talked about the initial Apple event, but since then there was a follow-on Apple event. I figured we would talk about that. Samsung is about to release a really interesting phone. Sort of.
They're not the
guess.
first, though.
They're not the first, which I thought was really interesting.
But they're going to do it the best, let's be real. Especially when it comes to display.
So let's talk about the Samsung thing then first.
Okay.
So Samsung has recently announced that they are indeed, and actually showed off some prototypes for the quote-unquote world's first foldable phone. And that means the screen itself, you can actually fold the thing in half.
Like a book.
like everything that's old is new again, like old school clamshell phones that we used to go, wow, look at that, my phone doesn't fold anymore, and now they're bringing it back. They're bringing sexy back.
Fun story.
Yeah.
If you think that this is a gimmick, you are wrong, and here's the reason why.
Mm-hmm.
About 2 hours before the Samsung event,
Yeah.
where they announced the folding,
Which I love. I love the way this timing played out. But go on.
Google announced the support for foldable displays in Android. So flat out, like this has been going on a while at this point. Like Google's not just going to randomly say, "Oh, yeah, all right, okay, you said you could make a foldable display." Although they probably won't they'll use the Samsung crap version of Android, not the actual good version of Android. Yeah. But the point is Google saying, "Yeah, we're going to support it," because very clearly. That's the direction. But what's really interesting is the fact is, does that mean Google's going to do something similar?
I
don't know. That's just speculation. Like, I think it's very ironic that slightly before the Samsung event, they're like, yeah, we're going to support foldable displays.
No, I don't think they will. Not for a very long time.
I don't think they should, because I have thoughts.
You want to share those thoughts, or do you want
I think a foldable display is just... I don't want a thick phone. I don't want a thick phone.
I get that. So you're saying it's a gimmick?
I don't think it's a gimmick. I think it's going to serve the purpose for some people, but I don't want a thick phone. If you think about it, the display is still going, like one single display is probably going to be this thick. So then
it's a big phone.
Put another phone on top of it, and then you've got...
Now kiss.
That like, I mean, your phone is
phone.
That's a Team Thick.
Team Thick.
Team Thick.
Oh god,
that's a big phone. That's heavy. People are already complaining about like, oh, the Pixel kind of heavy. Like this is.
Okay, what if you took a not Pixel XL, took a regular Pixel size, doubled it.
It's still the thick. It's not the It's not this way. It's this way.
But still, I mean, it's a thinner phone though.
Not by that much.
True.
Like you're not talking about like mega huge inches. Pause. You're talking about millimeters.
Also pause. So I got some deep technical cuts to throw at you first of all. So
I can't wait because you know I'm totally prepared for the show.
Well, you'll be able to participate. Okay. So first of all, Samsung foldable phone, $2,000.
Ooh. Really?
Strongest of passes. I'm out. I don't particularly like paying over $1,000 for it. $2,000 phone. I'm out.
Ooh.
Second of all, Samsung is absolutely notorious for they want to be the first to market with a particular piece of technology. But then when it comes out, it's not that good because they're always in the rush to be the first. So I'm not interested in being a beta tester for Samsung to bounce beta tested hardware off of. Especially not at $2,000. I'm sure that there will be people that are out there that want to say that they're the ones that have the world's first foldable phone. That's really hard to say. Second, don't get me wrong. If Samsung reached out to us and said, "Bruh, do you want to review this phone?" I would be all over it like white on rice, for sure.
Well, yeah. However, but I'm not gonna go.
I'm not buying it.
I'm not gonna knowingly spend $2,000 on it. This goes back to my thing, and you know this.
Yeah.
This is where we are completely opposite.
Yeah.
I think tablets are overrated.
I can't wait to talk to you about this because I got some hot takes on the Apple event. Keep going.
Yes, but my point is I think that just tablets in general are just overrated.
Yeah.
Not overrated. They serve a purpose. I can't say that they're overrated.
Sure.
They're not my cup of tea. I do everything on my phone. You know this. I edit photos and I have posted them on my Instagram at the Scott Peachy.
New Instagram.
Yeah, new Instagram at the Scott Peachy. Like I almost put the real Scott Peachy, but it was a lot of letters. But the point is I'm not a tablet person. So what is the purpose of a foldable phone? To make more display. If I want more display, I'll just get a tablet. And I don't want it. I don't want your life. I don't want the tablet.
Fair.
That's my thing. Is like I don't want the foldable phone because I don't need more real estate. I'm fine with the real estate that I get on my Pixel 3 XL.
Okay, so let's use this as a jumping point then, because it seems like the trend going forward is going to be maximizing screen real estate.
Yeah.
And if it's not a phone with a notch, the other thing, which is where the Google support for, it's not foldable display, it's multiple display. Right?
Okay.
Have you seen the phone that is screen on one side and then you flip it over and you get a screen on the back side too?
So yes, I did see that.
So
And you know why they did that?
no.
Because it's all screen on the front, no selfie cam on the front. There's no camera on the front of that phone.
Oh, yeah.
They
Okay,
want you
yeah,
to turn it around and then
So that way you can see.
That way you
Which
can
makes
see yourself to
sense.
take a
Yeah.
photo. I actually think that's pretty innovative.
It's a neat idea, except for the there's definitely a side of my phone which takes the abuse, and it is the backside. Because anytime, if I'm not using my phone, it goes face down. My case is thick enough to where I can set it down and it doesn't touch the screen. My screen stays protected. So the backside takes some abuse. And
Really? Okay.
no one.
No one. Pause.
So
Anybody?
if I set my phone down and I'm gonna take damage on the backside of the phone.
There we go. You're getting real selective with that. Real selective with that language. Woo! Backside abuse. Hashtag.
I backside abuse
Of the phone.
It's just I love the concept. I don't like the execution, and I feel the same way about the foldable phone. But between the two of them, which iteration are you more interested in?
I am more interested in the fact that they were able to pull off the. I'm more interested in the backside glass phone than I am the foldable phone. Because I like the idea
functionally different. You can
the
use
idea
it in a
of a
different sense.
you have a
Yeah.
full screen, no notches. It is uninterrupted
Yeah.
screen.
Yeah,
I have a problem with that one because it's not. Neither one of them are perfect.
sure.
I like front firing speakers.
Yeah.
Like there's things that I like with having. I'm willing to give up bezels or have bezels for those things.
Okay.
Whereas the foldable display, it's still. I have questions like, okay, the foldable display still has the same issue of, well, the back side is still potentially, unless it folds closed.
It folds closed. It folds closed.
So you don't have glass on one side.
No, I think it's actually the screen itself is a little curved, so that when you close it, you don't even have the screen on screen touching.
Ooh.
But it's like a real tight curve that the screen itself.
I have so many questions about that.
I have tons of screen protectors. How's that going to work?
You can't.
Well, and you can't do Gorilla Glass on that. So is it going to scratch super duper easy? What kind of longevity are we talking about with a screen that you can't really protect and that is constantly getting folded? Is it eventually going to...
And let's be real, the fact that if you fold that over, and they haven't really had the best of experiments with the Note 8. It was the Note 7. The 7 or 8?
The
Which
one
one
that caught on
exploded?
fire?
Yeah. Like
That was
7?
the 7, yeah.
Okay, what happens if I accidentally fold that? The battery cable I'm assuming the battery is on one side of it. The battery cable gets pinched and poof. Now I have basically shrapnel shooting at me. Because it'll break the glass, then the metal, and you see where I'm going?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Provided there's... I guess I don't have my hands on the foldable phone, obviously, but I don't think there's any glass on the screen. Because you're also talking about then having to have bendable glass. And I don't think there's such thing as foldable glass.
Well, so Motorola a few years ago actually came up with a Verizon device that was basically like scratch proof. Because it was
Scratch proof, fine. I'm
wondering if that's the same type of technology where if you can get scratch proof, it was very malleable.
So, God, I'm
You
trying
to show me something?
Well, I was going to show you. This is the phone.
Okay.
You know what it reminds me of? This is gonna.
I mean, that's a dope idea. But
this is a reference that's gonna capture. You can see it right there too.
We'll see how that folds around on the outside.
Yeah,
that's different.
Now that's an interesting idea, but I
what's
don't know
the
why
point?
you would. That's my thing. It's cool, but it's like, but how are you gonna use that? What's the use case for having a screen that I can fold? This doesn't really work. A screen that I can fold either closed, clamshell style, now it's protective case, or I can fold it this way and have like screen that literally wraps all the way around.
I don't see the point of that wrap all the way around part. I see the point of unfolding it to have more real estate when you want a tablet, which I don't want.
I don't want your tablet.
I don't want your tablet.
So, man, I want to want it. But I just don't. I don't know that I do. I would play with it for sure.
I mean,
Without
I would,
question,
but
yeah. I wouldn't pay $2,000 for it.
I wouldn't,
However, the
no.
funny part is, so Samsung prides themselves on being first to market, whatever. They weren't the first.
No.
There's another Chinese company that actually beat Samsung to the punch and released their foldable phone. Now, if you haven't seen the video of them demoing this non-Samsung foldable phone,
It's very
technically they beat Samsung to
it's
market.
very bad.
It's really, really bad. It's so buggy. During the tech demo that they're showing on stage, they would like close the phone and then the screen wouldn't adjust, or it was real bad.
Very not good.
It was real bad.
I'm much like the everyday dad. I'm getting to the age where I don't care about new tech, except for the big. Like, I have no interest in Samsung tech. I have a lot of interest in Apple and Google tech. Just to see, like, because Apple is the one that you're always kind of aiming for from a hardware perspective. Google is the company, in my opinion, that they're aiming for from a software side.
I would agree with that entirely, if only because the A12 and the A12X are, I mean, I won't use the language, but I mean, envision a whole lot of swear words. It's a monster. That thing.
It's very impressive.
It is a technical work of art.
And it is no question that Google, in my opinion, it's not perfect. No software is perfect.
Sure.
But Google has got the software game down a lot. People are kind of complaining like, well, Android 9 is buggy and I think the gestures are this, that. I don't think the gestures are that bad. I've gotten used to it. Would I prefer buttons? Yes. But I've gotten used to the gestures. Swiping up, it's the same gestures that when you didn't have a button on the iPhone. It's just,
What's so funny
you
is
get
like,
used to it.
And that what's funny is like you're talking about the gestures and people complaining about it, and I can't figure out what gestures they're talking about because I haven't learned anything new with Android 9 to go like, oh, this is a new gesture, and it doesn't work.
Do you have the 3 options at the bottom?
That?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, see, I don't.
Okay. Different story.
You know,
I'm with you now.
yeah. Yeah, I don't have it. So, like, all my gestures,
Okay.
up, swipe over, clear all, like, it's not hard.
Yeah.
They're just like, well, the gestures aren't as good as iPhone. I'm like, well, okay.
But
but I don't
they
get,
have
like,
to be different though.
but I guess my thing is like
From
they're
a,
not
from
that
a proprietary standpoint, they have to be different.
the Apple gestures are fine. I don't actually really like the long press.
I don't either.
I don't like long presses. I find that the long press is just annoying.
Yeah.
And Apple just makes you use the dog out of that. I'm almost let this show just go.
Yeah.
Like, they use it a lot. Like, I have to swipe up to get all the apps up, then I got to long press and hold, and then I can get rid of them all.
Would you
like,
rather have multi-touch gestures where it's like, oh, hold 3 fingers on the whatever to do the thing, or
so
long
I
press?
actually really like multi-touch gestures on my
love
MacBook.
multi-touch. Oh yeah, well,
I
and that's
love
the thing. On the MacBook, the giant trackpad that we have, multi-touch is brilliant.
Really good. Like, I actually prefer editing on my MacBook. When I make videos, I edit on my MacBook. I don't edit with a mouse and a keyboard.
I have also gotten to the point where I am less capable, less functional, less effective, less efficient with a mouse.
Yeah, like,
And that's
I'm way better with that.
Using the actual Apple mouse even. Because
Really?
Yeah, because a lot of the gestures don't work the same.
Yeah, like, I prefer that. Like, I'm thinking about getting a big trackpad.
Yeah.
Like an external trackpad.
Yeah.
Really, really thinking about it. But they're like $150.
But oh man, are they nice.
But they're so pretty!
Yeah.
But the problem is I always move around, so I'd have to carry a piece of tech with me always.
Yeah.
Anyway,
It's
the
light.
gestures for Android aren't that bad, but the point is Google software, in my opinion, is best. The Night Shot, which everybody at the main event, the Google Made by Google event, everyone was like, that's not real. There's no way that that's real. The iPhone is terrible. I was there. I heard what the press were saying. Was those?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, the APK got modified slightly and turned on, and then it was legit dope.
Well, what's funny is like it's really hard to test unless you did the test yourself, because you posted a picture. We talk about this a lot. You posted a picture that the first picture was black. You could not see anything.
Nothing.
And the second picture with Night Shot on looked like a lit scene, and you did not turn any lights on.
Sure didn't.
It looks, from an outsider's perspective, it is way easy to understand how you would think that is a fake shot.
I totally get it. Like, I totally get it. There's no way that you're going to be like, you totally staged that. You very much clearly turned a little bit of light on. I assure you, it was like 10:30 at night. I was laying on the couch. It was pitch black. I was like, I'm going to give this a shot and see what happens.
Yeah.
And I got the results that I got. And I was like, this is ridiculous. I immediately sent it to him.
I thought it was fake too.
You're like, no way, this is not. I'm like, I assure you that my laziness of getting up and turning a light on when I'm comfortable on the couch, my laziness is going to win airtime.
Yeah, as soon as he said I was on the couch, I was like, so you didn't move.
Yeah, you legit didn't move because I have a great couch and I didn't
It's super comfy, yeah.
Yeah, so Google's got the software, Apple's got the hardware. If they ever teamed up to make a child,
the world as we know it would cease to exist.
It would be the most beautiful software hardware mix ever.
That's when the singularity starts. When Apple and Google get together and produce the device. At that point, you just call it the phone.
Yeah, you would just call it the phone.
Yeah.
What did you buy? The phone.
I bought the phone.
My God, you bought the phone?
Yeah. You bought the phone?
Jeez, the phone.
Mr. Michael Daniels, welcome to the show. So happy to have you here. He says, so
Hi.
awesome to see you guys tonight. Scott, awesome seeing you live.
I got to see him live about a week ago.
Yeah.
Gave the man a hug directly.
Yeah.
The man, the myth, the legend. He was doing a little bit of, I think, a YouTube live, and I was
He did several YouTube live streams.
And I was there for a hot second in one because I was so hungry.
I missed that one. But I did watch several of them. I appreciated a lot of the behind-the-scenes stuff. It was nice to see that.
It was really, really good.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
You had some viewers, buddy. I promise. We were there for it. Well, I was there for it.
I was there. You weren't there.
You're right. I was there. I was here, not there. Anyway, so an Apple Google team
Awkward pause, like.
But thanks, folks. I'll be here all week. Don't forget to tip your waitress. So an Apple Google team up is. A long time ago, I would have thought that was just so absolutely implausible. And right now, it looks horrifically implausible. But you know, it used to be just 0% chance of this ever happening back in the day. It was seeing a Sega game on a Nintendo system. Was the 1980s, 1990s version of Apple versus Google. And Sega went out of business. And now they are a software developer, and they make games for, wait for it, the Nintendo. So...
How about Microsoft buying open source stuff?
Oh my God, Microsoft!
Dude, I did it.
That one burns me so badly that Microsoft bought Red Hat. They did so badly.
They did.
They bought GitHub, which is the place that I store all my code, and then they bought Red Hat, which is the operating system that I use. They got me. They got me good.
So what you're saying is, if I am understanding the words coming out of your mouth,
all in the Microsoft
you are
universe.
all in Microsoft ecosystem.
Sure am.
Literally, all in Microsoft.
I am.
Where's your Windows phone?
I'm deep in it.
Where's your Windows phone?
Look.
Where's your Lumia 720?
Those were great phones.
That had a great camera back in the day.
It pains me how much... You know what else was really awesome that Microsoft did that they killed way too early? The Zune was way ahead of its time.
Oh my God, the Zune was amazing.
The Zune was
so good. I'm going to eBay. Can I find a Zune right now? eBay.
You used to have one.
I did. I sold it. That was a really good business decision, by the way.
To sell it?
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, because
it was worth nothing.
Yeah, for sure. Also, Mr. eRoot calls it Skynet, S-K-I-Net.
What you did there? What happened was what happened? What? See what?
Do you get the joke?
What?
We get the joke.
What?
But it's got to be your bowl. So that's.
I can buy a 30 gig digital Zune media player right now on Amazon for $400. What?
Man.
It gets 3.5 stars on Amazon though, with over 1,800 reviews. A refurbished Zune. Buy it now. Bam. Right now. Oh, it's only 16 gigs.
For how much?
$90.
I don't know if I listen to more than 16 gigs worth of music at any given time anyway. My thing is, it doesn't have... I don't think it has internet. Maybe it does. I don't remember.
I don't actually know. It was so far ahead of its time.
I don't remember if it had Wi-Fi and I could get... Well, first of all, you can't get the
app. It has social, so I'm guessing it did.
It has to then. But if I could get Google Music on it, because I'm still patron saint of lost causes, can't wait for Google to cancel that service.
Man, some of the I want to go all in on Google Tasks. I really do, but I won't.
Yeah.
Because I'm afraid they're gonna kill
Because
it.
you're gonna get burned.
Well, I'm all in on Todoist.
Yeah.
So I use Todoist all the time.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten into like I need to. Man, the Zune was so far ahead of its time.
I'll never forget the first time.
Jeez.
I had like a crappy. What was it? It was called the RCA Lyra MP3 player, and it took compact flash cards, like the big square honking ones. Oh yeah. And it had like I'll never forget being just blown away by the sound quality. It was like, oh my god, because I mean this is back in like the early days of the internet, and like dial-up days of the internet, where oh yeah, and if you, I was an early adopter to MP3s because that was back in the days when you could pirate and nobody cared. Like nobody was thinking about piracy at the time. Matter of fact, how I got into it, there was a kid in my high school.
God, I can't wait until you actually just give yourself a felony right now. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, whatever. Statute of limitations, yeah. whatever. There's a kid in my high school who downloaded and gave me a copy of The Matrix while it was still in theaters. And I was like, what manner of sorcery is this? Like, I was so stunned that you could, like, I just saw the movie.
You can do that?
I was like, I saw the movie a week ago. How do you have it, man? How did you do it? How did you do it? Tell me who your spy is.
Show me the video camera with the crappy audio.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So yeah, I mean he was the kid that introduced me into like this whole world of the seedy underbelly of the internet, and yeah, RCA Lyra Zune or Lyra RCA Lyra is what I had, and my buddy was like, "Oh, I just got this thing made by Microsoft. It's a Zune." I had that RCA Lyra thing for an uncomfortable amount of time.
How about the fact that Microsoft actually was one of the first that actually said, if you pay me so much per month,
yeah,
you can just have as much music as you want.
Again, they were
that was
too
like
early. They were
ground level stuff. That was great.
They were too far ahead of the game. Because there was you didn't have the dearth of content at that point in time that you have now. Like now you have more content. Now you're just looking for how do I get to access it. Music, I feel like, is the one thing that gets the content access problem solved, where it's the same music on YouTube Music, on Google Music, on Pandora, on what's the other one? Spotify, iTunes. Music. It's all the same music. It's just a matter of what you have access to. And there's some exclusivity stuff like Tidal that had Kanye's album for
Jay-Z
3 days or something like that before they realized that was a stupid idea and they went to where the people are. But I think fundamentally that's what people want. You want to pay for a service and then you get access to the stuff. And then if I want to go to a different service because it works better in the ecosystem, that's fine. But I'm not punished by not having the content. And that's the one thing I wish the TV and movie industry would get right with their streaming systems.
I know. I'm going to get burned so hard
yeah.
when Google shuts down Google Music. Or Google Movies. I'm going to get way burned.
Yeah.
Because all my movies are in Google Movies. I'm going to get burned!
My first question is if I have all these Disney movies that I have redeemed digital copies of in the Google Play Store.
Which I have.
So do I. Am I going to be allowed to transfer those to whatever Disney Flicks?
Absolutely not.
Netsy.
You know they're not. You know that.
I'm not. Oh.
You know this. You know this. And the problem is, like, even if you put that on Vudu, you put that on any other movie app, Disney's going to go, nah. Like,
buy it again.
Do it again.
Yeah.
Hey, here's a discount. Here, we'll give it to you for 50% off. So rather than spending $14.99, you'll get it for $7.99.
And people will do it because it's like, well, I got 50% off. I don't have to pay full price for it. Oh my god.
I know, and that's gonna happen.
We need to have an adults only stream just so that I can really voice my frustrations for this because I know that it's gonna burn me. I know that it is.
It's coming.
Yeah.
It's coming.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's so frustrating to know, like, you can see the train coming down the track, and it's gonna get you, and there's nothing you can do about it. And here's the problem: you're gonna pay for it anyway.
You're just gonna have to wait for Disney to. You're gonna wait for Mickey Mouse to go yard on the jaw. That's the only thing you can do.
And you're gonna acquiesce because you don't want to lose any teeth.
Oh my god! You want to talk about that Apple event?
Yeah, sure. Talk about an iPad. You said you had a hot take on tablets that you want me to do.
Not that I want you to do. I
think tablets are dumb.
I know that you do.
Yeah.
And I'm interested to see what your long-term position on Apple is going to be, because here's the thing. What was it, last week? They did the Apple event part 2 just recently happened. We haven't had a live show since then, so we're going to touch on it very briefly. The first Apple event was all phones. This Apple event was all of their, basically all the other stuff, other hardware that they're like, yeah, it's not as important as phones. One of the interesting things that I thought they brought up was the fact that they're not going to disclose device sales anymore.
Oh, they're not?
They're not. So now it's just going to be, we made X revenue. They're not talking about device sales anymore.
Why?
Uh,
What's the rumor of why?
I mean, so there's what they're saying, and then there's the kind of like, it doesn't take much to read between the lines. So
Okay.
what they're saying is that it just doesn't, it's not reflective of company goals and stuff like that.
Okay.
So short version is like the number of iPhones being sold doesn't really matter. It's not reflective of Apple's positioning for the future. And the inside track on that is that Apple is making hand over fist on cloud related stuff, and it's really hard to quantify or talk about in an earnings report how your cloud revenue stream works relative to devices and stuff like that. So basically it just becomes more and more difficult to have a discrete conversation about here's how the company is doing because we sold X, Y, and Z devices. It's very difficult to do. Also, now here's the other thing. Apple is financially incentivized to not talk about how they're doing with their cloud stuff because a full, I think, 25% of their revenue from the cloud is just the $9 billion that Google pays Apple to have Google be the default search engine on Safari.
Really?
Just that. $9 billion. Next year, it's $12 billion.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought that was
25%.
Yeah. A full quarter of their cloud income is just
Google.
Now, what does that tell you? The search data that
No. Man, 9 billion?
9 billion, and next year it goes to 12. And Google's not batting an eye.
If
so
people don't think data's worth money, you are all silly.
I want a tally.
Find that?
I want to see if you can find that. I would be very interested in like how much to Google. How much is each Apple device worth?
A lot.
Clearly, more than
Because if you can get data from, you're getting a bunch of data from Android devices.
Yeah.
And you get just a little bit more. A little bit
doesn't
more.
work.
So is it not? Is it just iPhone's default Safari or all Apple device Safaris?
That's a great question. Let me fire up.
Well, because I would wonder, because at that point it'd be 9 billion plus. So if it's iPads, Macs.
No, it's iOS or it's Mac too.
Okay, so it's all iOS. So you would want the active.
iOS and Mac.
So that's a whole other bird
Yeah.
then.
Yeah.
Because if it's all iOS, you have iPads, you have
Yeah.
MacBooks, you have iPhones, all of the generations in between all of that.
Yeah.
That takes the number of dollar signs per user and goes,
Yeah. I mean,
you're getting data.
but you're still not talking. You're not talking about 9 billion active devices.
1.3
1.3 million or billion?
Billion.
Is that all across all iOS?
iPhone, iPod Touch, iPad, Mac, Apple TV, and Apple Watch models in use around the world as of February 1, 2018.
All right, so call it 1.3 billion devices.
Yeah.
Have Google
Yeah.
as the default search engine, and they paid 9 billion.
Yeah.
I don't know
Now,
what
that
that,
was
what does
talked
that
about
work
during
out
their
to
earnings call.
per dollars per user.
That's
I
what I'm
don't-
saying.
I
That's
don't
what I'm
math.
super interested in. Dollars per device. What is each device worth to Google? Because that's a lot of money.
It's
That's a
not
lot.
very.
And they're
Not very
willing-
much.
It's not very much, but they're going to go up another $3 billion.
What was it? $10
in the
bucks
next
a
year.
user.
Less than
Basically, yeah.
It's less than okay. If it goes to the 12 million, then it's about $10 a user.
Right now, it's $7 a user.
So $7 per user.
Google,
Man, that is cheap.
yeah.
That
Right
is
now-
so cheap.
It'll go up to just over $9 a user, 9.25.
So
Still-
okay, so $9
Still
per
under $10
user
a user.
to get their search history. Man, Google's got a great game. Jeez, that is data for days.
Isn't that crazy though?
I look some of the stuff that I saw with their AI.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
bruh.
All powered by your search data, man. Every time you use the OK keyword,
And
you
I
know,
use that thing
I use it all the time.
all the time.
My Google Home is really proficient at turning on and off the lights because that's about the only thing I have hooked up.
It's
And my
true.
kids, look, Google is so good. It can pick when my son talks to it, picks it up like that. My wife never talks to it. Doesn't understand my wife at all.
Google's actually gotten very, very good with understanding children.
It was crazy good.
Very, very
And
good.
look, I love my kids to death, but they're not speaking proper English. They're not
Nope.
speaking well. They're not speaking clearly. Like, I still have to translate for grandparents or for other people that don't spend that much time around my kids. I still have to translate because there's just patterns of speech. I mean, parents, you know this. There's patterns of speech that your kids have that you're like, oh, yeah, he wants the thing with the stuff and the whatever. And other people don't know that. But you're like, yeah, I got you, kid. I know what you're saying.
Tech with Brett. I know that guy. Tech with Brett. Welcome to the show.
Happy to have you, buddy.
I had a chance to meet Brett in New York.
Yeah.
Very awesome dude.
Outstanding, man. Welcome to the
Super
show.
tall.
Appreciate you. Really.
Very tall.
Super tall.
Very tall.
that's
Super
your
tall. Great channel.
That's your takeaway.
Great
Yeah.
channel. He's my kind of my go-to guy for home automation.
Oh.
Google stuff. That is Brett.
Okay.
Great-
Yeah.
great
I am
channel.
aware. Yeah. Fantastic.
I know. I need to do a Google Hub review. He did a really good Hub review that.
Yeah.
It's really good. Like I don't want to make a video because his is really great, but I'm going to because I want to make content.
That's fair.
It's a really good photo album, the Google Hub.
Yeah.
You should get one.
Maybe. I don't know.
I sold Stats an old Google Home.
Really?
I did.
Like a full size one?
Yeah.
Oh.
Not
I
the
know.
Max, but the
Well,
Home.
yeah, I got that one.
Yeah.
I almost had
He-
my wife talked into buying
Actually,
a Max.
we have a whole shopping list that we need to set up at some point.
Yeah. Like I
And
gave.
I mean, I still need to send you the money.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know where you live. I know you're good for it. But I gave him a.
You have a key to
Where's my money,
house
Lebowski?
somewhere.
I gave him a Google Home.
Yeah.
And oh my God, the Google Home and
and a stroke.
and
Chromecast?
Chromecast audio.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And maybe some light bulbs.
Oh yeah, but you didn't purchase those.
Did you already sell them?
No, I still got them.
Oh.
I just it's one deal aside. You said you didn't want the
One
lights
at a
yet.
time. One at a time, son.
I'm a great deal giver.
You are.
He got I tried to
Yeah.
be a Google Home and a Chromecast audio
You're-
for $60.
You are. Oh my god. You got
And
a
he's gonna
great
come over and
deal.
help me. set
And
it
I'm
up.
gonna help him set it up
Oh my god.
because I'm gonna use the B-roll.
All right, so it's not like you're not getting paid for this one. You're getting paid just in
It's a little self-service.
Yeah. That's not too bad. So first of all, Tech Brett says he wants to see it still.
Oh no, I'm still gonna make the video.
think you
Absolutely. It's I think 2 videos from now. My next video is the Google Pixel Buds 1 year later,
Yep.
and then the video after that is a more in-depth review on the Moment Anamorphic.
I'm much less positive on the Google Pixel Buds a year later. I still use them.
That's because you're dumb.
Okay, that was needlessly aggressive. Jeez. Yeah. Okay. So I guess I'm done.
No, like I'm kidding. Like
No, it's fine. I'm stupid, Scott. Whatever. No,
I know
you know
some
my
of the
problems.
things. Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
and I
it's
agree
the
with
same,
you.
I'll say it's the same problems you've had.
It's
I still use them. They're still my go-to. Like if I'm gonna be active in any way, shape, or form,
Use them every
they're
day.
my go-to headphones. No question.
Yeah, I really I use them every day. And with my latest video that I dropped about the Pixel earbuds that came with the why am I doing that?
I
The
don't-
Pixel
I don't
3, they're really good.
Yeah.
I was really
Wired ones?
yeah,
What do they call it? The Pixel
earbuds.
Pixel earbuds. Okay.
They're USB Type-C earbuds.
Yeah.
They're the Pixel or the Google earbuds.
Did you try plugging them into your Mac? Just out of curiosity. See what
I haven't. I don't know if they work on a Mac because the Mac isn't technically USB Type C.
Yes, it is.
Well, I watched your video and you told me otherwise. You said
No.
it was Thunderbolt, whatever.
Okay. USB Type-C is the connection standard. Thunderbolt 3 is a chip that lives on the inside. So everything that is Thunderbolt 3 is USB Type-C connected. but not everything that is USB Type-C connected is Thunderbolt 3. Your phone does not have Thunderbolt 3 in it.
No.
Your MacBook does.
Yes.
That's a special chip.
Okay. I don't know if they actually work on the MacBook. I hope they do.
I would be surprised if they did, because that means that... Well, they might. I don't know.
I'm guessing that they don't, because I've tested other USB-C headphones on my MacBook, and they don't work.
So then it probably doesn't work then.
And I'm really bummed about that, because that's an Apple problem.
Yeah, because that's Apple not routing... They're not routing audio out the Type-C port, which is funny because they do. If you plug in a dongle, it works, because you can get sound out of dongle HDMI cable.
Yeah.
You get sound.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
Can
frustrating.
you do dongle with a headphone jack? I've never actually tried, so I don't know.
Dongle with it. What do you mean dongle with a headphone jack?
Well, they have a headphone jack on the side, so I
Yeah.
guess you wouldn't need that.
Yeah, that's what I'm not really sure. Because if you just did USB Type-C,
Well, no,
went to
you said like
dongle, and then
right, but if you said you do,
I'm talking
Like,
dongle
if there's
like
a-
this dongle.
yeah, no, that's what I
Yeah.
mean. Is like I wonder if you had a headphone jack dongle, if you could get audio out of a headphone jack dongle.
Well, yeah, 3.5 millimeter.
Not
USB
on
Type-C.
no. I'm talking about on a dongle. Like if this
You think
dongle
that-
right
I don't-
here.
Look, I've
How many
never
times
seen-
can we say the word dongle?
Dongle. I don't know that they make a dongle with 3.5 millimeter.
They
dongle.
absolutely do. I have one.
Then maybe. I don't know.
I don't actually know if it would.
It's a great question.
The
Inquiring
world may
minds wanna
never know.
If only there's some website we could go to.
That's default on Safari.
It's worth approximately $7. Oh man! So
How-
the other
like, how many?
What was the question?
How many? I do. You're not gonna Google that one. I assure you. Does a USB Type C headphone dongle connect on a MacBook? Go Google that.
good luck.
Godspeed.
Yeah,
I know you'll Google it, but you're not. God knows what you're gonna come up with.
you threw out the word dongle, so we'll see what happens.
Dongle.
So the other thing that I thought was really interesting about the Apple event is they started out talking about Macs. Remember Macs, that the computer hardware that Apple used to be all about? So they released some updated versions of MacBook Air and MacBooks and
MacBook Pro.
Mac
No.
Pros,
Mac Pro.
the little Mac, or Mac Mini, sorry, Mac Mini. But the interesting thing is, I mean, it's...
Why do they sell the MacBook?
Well, it doesn't matter. They're completely anemic specs. Like, they updated it just so they can say, oh yeah, we still have this and we still update it. But if you look at pound for pound performance increase over time, when you look at the last probably 3 iterations of the Mac laptop, it's not much.
Well, I guess my point is like why? So why do you have a MacBook Air,
Yeah,
a MacBook,
yeah,
and a MacBook Pro?
right.
Just drop the Air.
No.
No, hang on. Drop the Air
Yeah.
word, and then just
Make
make
it
the MacBook Air.
Agreed.
Like, just call it a MacBook.
Yeah.
Don't have 3 versions. Have 2.
What's funny,
Regular, and then Pro.
I'm with you, and I think a lot of customers would be with you. What's funny about that is the exact problem that Apple used to have back in the day, and that's one of the things when Steve Jobs came back to Apple. That's one of the first things he did.
Got rid of the middle.
He got rid of model distinction. He said, like, when the iPhone came out, it's not I want to have different models of iPhone. It's here's the phone. That's what you get. Here's the iPad. That's what you get. And now, especially after Steve Jobs has left, it's become SKU hell, which a lot of other manufacturers have to deal with, and it's not. I don't think it's fundamentally a good place to be in. But anyway, the different SKUs doesn't bother me nearly as much. What irritates me is the fact that the focus is very clearly not on Mac. Apple long term. My takeaway from that event, Apple long term does not want you to be on Mac OS. Where they want you to be is iOS. Because then the very next thing after they talked about all the Mac updates, they talked about the iPads, and that's where you got to the A12X with the 9 integrated CPU cores, 7 GPU cores, a dedicated machine learning core. Like, the new iPad Pro is a monster. That iPad Pro, when the dust settles and you start seeing the benchmarks come out for the iPad Pro, that thing is going to put up desktop numbers. It's going to put up Core i5 solid laptop numbers, no question. And it's in a form factor that no one ever thought was ever going to have much for processing power.
Super thin. Holy crap, that thing is
Stupid thin.
thin.
Yeah. It's the opposite of thick.
Team Welcome, T.
Technically, T. What's going on, brother?
Safe
So happy to
travels
have you.
down to Florida. Michael, yes, well, we should be on the show. Did you see my question on the last review you did?
You put him on the spot. I don't think he knows.
Was this the question? I think you specifically asked a question about would the headphones work on your wife's computer? Maybe.
Oh, yeah, I did see that one come up recently.
I thought I answered it, but maybe I didn't.
Because you're a bad person.
I'm a terrible person.
Yeah.
That's the answer. The answer is I'm a terrible person. I believe if that's the question, then they should. Unless they don't, like Greg talked about. So it's
Just like that.
50-50, yes or no.
It's
That's
it's-
literally the worst answer I can give.
Flip a coin. What do you think? But so what interested me is like you were talking about being all in on taking pictures and editing in Adobe Lightroom and all that kind of stuff. And they had on the stage, they brought out the people from Adobe to show off the fact that you could get actual Photoshop on the iPad Pro, the legit desktop experience. Also, Autodesk. You can do CAD on an iPad. Those are traditional desktop-heavy types of workloads that you can now do mobile on your iPad. And I think that's interesting, but just the form factor of the tablet still doesn't feel comfortable for that type of workload. And again, that's where I think the disconnect between how heavy users, especially the creatives, like I'm not editing video on a tablet.
So you can edit video on a tablet.
It's
iMovie,
not very good.
iMovie on an iPad Pro is not very good in my opinion. There's a lot of folks that can do it. It's not very good. It's not conducive to what I'm trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's Adobe Rush, which is the new system that they just came out with, and it is trash.
Yeah.
It is not good.
Yep.
It is very not good. If you go out and watch a bunch of different reviews on YouTube, it gets really bad reviews. It's early, and by the way, of course, naturally, Adobe Rush doesn't have that on Android because why would they?
Yeah.
But it's really bad right now on iOS. And that's if I were Adobe, I'd be worried about that because typically Adobe stuff on iOS is really good.
Yeah.
But Rush is really bad. And
Yeah.
I'm not sure what to make out of that.
Well, so it's a first draft of the product. Adobe's another one that's not necessarily known for releasing great products right out the gate. So I'm sure that they're going to take a bunch of user experience surveys and stuff like that and make changes over time to Adobe Rush.
Yeah.
My thing, though, is just the editing workflow, at least that I have. And I'm not saying that I'm not willing to change it, but the editing workflow that I have within Final Cut, there's a nuance, there's like context menus and like the complexity of the edits that we make at times. It's not really conducive to trying to do that on just a touchscreen because you don't have any other way of interacting. You get the Apple Pencil.
Yep.
Okay, great. But that's still only, you don't have additional buttons, you don't have additional ways of bringing up context menus and getting to the real complex details of how do I manipulate a particular clip that I'm working with, detach audio and J edits and, all this fancy stuff that you get into when you're doing video editing. How are you going to do that on...
And my thing about... So, again, I'm still very new getting into, like, Photoshop editing, like, removing people and things from photos to make them look better. I'm woefully bad at it.
Sure.
And I'm learning. But I need a full keyboard because I need the hotkeys.
Yeah.
Like, so I'm learning the hotkeys, and I'm not sure how you would do that on iPad Pro. However, one thing I will say about the iPad Pro that I have witnessed a lot of people is tattoo artists use the iPad Pro...
No, that's a great idea.
Wonderfully.
That's a great
like
idea.
They take a picture of the arm, like if I wanted
Just
to tattoo on
sketch
my
it,
arm,
yeah.
and then they sketch it with an iPad pencil, and it just works great. And
I
they
would
just,
have never in a million years thought about that use case.
that's
genius.
just brilliant.
Yeah.
And like the guys and gals are just so talented.
Yeah.
So what they'll do is they just zoom in on the arm, and then they just draw, and then they zoom back out, and then they print that. I almost said a bad word. And they print that. Then they print that out. And then they print it out and then slap it on your arm and then really tattoo you.
Yeah.
It's a great. Like the iPad Pro is legit. In the pencil, one of the best things that Apple could have done.
The new thing, the new thing that they're doing with the iPad Pro and the new Apple Pencil? It's not only can you magnetically attach it to the top of the iPad,
Great idea.
but it also charges.
Oh, that's way better
That's
than,
so
than
smart.
sticking it in the
Yeah.
bottom of the thing.
Yeah.
Like, what an awful, awful design idea.
Yeah.
Not nearly as bad as the Apple, the stupid, the mouse,
The
where you
mouse.
had to turn it upside down and plug it in. Who
You know-
thought that was a great
You know
idea?
why that is?
No.
It's because they felt that just plugging it in and continuing to use the mouse ruined the design aesthetic. I am not kidding. That's why you have to plug in it, because they would rather you just not use the mouse than to use the mouse with the cord.
Pass. That design is that was
It's
dumb.
dumb.
Like dumb. But hey, whatever.
Yeah.
It's Apple. They do make really pretty products.
They do, and one of the things that concerns me is this Apple the Apple drive to focus everybody, to funnel everybody into iOS and say that no, you don't need a laptop anymore, you don't need all this stuff. Feels like Apple turning its back on creatives. Not all creatives, because obviously you can do a lot of interesting graphic work on an iPad Pro, but there's also a lot of people that do a lot of video editing on a MacBook, and I don't know how you're going to get... I would love to be proven wrong. But I don't know how you're going to get the same fidelity. Like, I'm gonna see an MKBHD or somebody like that put together a dope-looking video edited solely on a MacBook Pro. I mean, first of all, you're talking...
MacBook Pro? Or
Sorry,
iPad
an
Pro?
iPad Pro. Because you're already talking about dongle hell. Not that we're not in dongle hell as it is. Also, I mean, are you going to ever switch the iPads over to Type-C? And the phones
They just did.
The phones over to Type-C. As well
Oh,
as, yeah.
I've heard that's the next thing.
But I don't understand why.
So they have all their iPads, now their
Why not
MacBooks,
now? Literally everything except the phone.
except for the phone. And you want to know why? That's sweet, sweet cash.
I guess so.
Lightning cords, dongles. Lightning cords, dongles. Give me that cash. Straight cash, homie.
Whatever.
Oh, speaking of something I have to woefully admit that I was wrong on, the red hydrogen one. I was wrong.
That phone is not
True.
not
great.
I tried to tweet at him. I was like, look, there's a bunch of people who've been talking about the phone being trash, and I get that. I was not expecting the phone to be any good whatsoever. But I was interested in the quality of the pictures.
They're not great.
And I tweeted, I was like, hey, Red, if you wanna slide us one of them reviews, we'll check it out. We'll do it justice.
Oh yeah.
And then the pictures started coming out. They're not
great.
they're not that good.
Look, I'm telling you, this is where the Google thing, the software side.
Yeah. Yeah. This is where Google sets itself heads and shoulders above
Apple's getting closer. They're not above, in my opinion.
Okay, so
They're getting closer.
my boss today was showing off a picture. It was the background on. He was showing some stuff up on a big screen. It was his background, and somebody commented on the building, and he goes, "Oh yeah, that's such and such building," and I went, "Oh, it's in a place that's obscure enough to where it's not like you're gonna go and look at a photographer who took this picture." I was like, "Wait, did you take that picture?" He goes, "Yeah, I took that." I mean, well shot. The lighting was perfect on it. I mean, the colors just pop. I was like, "That's a really good picture. What did you take that with?" And he goes, "Oh, just my iPhone." And I was like, "Oh." And he goes, "It's got the best camera on the market." I said, "Don't poke that bear."
Don't do that. Don't do that, because I will.
That was so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like, I still need a job, but you're wrong.
yeah.
It's got the best camera on the market. No, it does not.
You are.
In certain lighting situations,
Yeah.
there's a better preference
Yeah.
for certain photos. Not the best on the market.
But it does take legitimately good.
Oh, no doubt.
Legitimately good pictures.
Absolutely, no question.
So yeah,
Portrait mode, still. I don't know if he's still listening. I don't know if he's still watching. But the Everyday Dad,
Yeah.
I love him, and you know this.
Oh yeah.
But he had an Instagram post where he talked about, like, it's the best portrait mode. I was like, that's just not true. Just
You're
not.
just calling shots now.
I'm calling the shot.
Okay.
Well, look. The iPhone, like, he took an iPhone one.
Yeah.
And it was really good.
Yeah.
It was very good. I personally like the sharpness and the depth
Yeah.
that I get from the Google Pixel 3, the Google Pixel,
Yeah.
whatever you want to call it.
Well, specifically,
Portrait mode. Specifically,
the
I
Pixel
like
3
that.
has the adjustable focal length that you
You
really
can get
like.
it on the Pixel 2 though.
You can get it, but it's not the official one yet.
I like the pictures from portrait mode.
Yeah.
From the Pixel devices more than the Apple devices. They just look better in my opinion. They're sharper around the actual person or the thing by which you're taking a picture of. They're just sharper. The lines
Yeah.
are just more crispy. That's just
Yeah.
my personal opinion.
And which makes me wonder how close we are to basically, like, we talk about peak smartphone all the time, but, like, are we getting to the point where the differences between, it's all software, of course, but are the differences between the two cameras, is this going to be like Canon versus Nikon versus whatever, where it's like, yeah, they all take great pictures. And yeah, maybe this one is better, but if you show it to an average person or somebody who's not, like, ultra deep into photography, you're not really going to notice the differences. It's just really, really good, and then a different level of really, really, really good.
So fun story, Jonathan Morrison,
Yeah.
whom I really, really like
Yeah.
a lot. So if somebody can get Jonathan to actually like
Show him on
tweet,
the show.
tweet. Look, I'd love to have him on the show.
Yeah.
He has trolled some folks a couple times where he actually said he took a photo on a Pixel and then it was an iPhone,
Yeah.
and then people like lost their minds because he trolled them.
Yeah.
Well, like completely lost their minds. I was like, you know what? Good on you. You're getting there. You're almost there. To your point,
Yeah.
you were almost there. Then he trolled him again because
The other
everybody.
way? Like, took a phone on the...
No, then took like the cheaper iPhone, the iPhone XR is the
yeah.
cheaper one. So it said everybody was like, "I'm not buying that phone. It's only a 1080p display. It looks like crap." But they never had it.
1080p on a screen this size.
They didn't have it. So what he did is he took the regular iPhone, the X, whatever the newest XS,
Yeah.
and then took that,
10S, technically, but...
strapped it all down, and then put the XR beside it, strapped it all down so no one could see what either one were, and said,
Yeah.
which one do you prefer? Same everything.
Yeah.
Brightness all the same video, same all that. Everyone took the XR.
Oh, that...
And then so he trolled him, and they're like, "Are you kidding me?" And then somebody was so butthurt about it. They're like, "Well, I mean, very clearly, like that's a different video because it's got a warmer temp and
you can,
like
you can tell by
whatever."
the, you can tell by the pixels
You-
because of the
You
Photoshop.
got.
Yeah.
You got. So I actually really like what Jonathan's been able to prove.
Yeah.
He has proven out that we're almost at peak smartphone. We're
Yeah.
almost at peak just preference
It's
of photos. And shut up about the display. The displays look great.
it's like wine connoisseurs, where if you talk to anyone who considers themselves, and I'm sorry, I might be about to make some people mad, but sommeliers, where it's like, oh, well, I can tell that this
What's
is
a sommelier?
Wine expert.
Thank
A
you.
wine
I was gonna
expert?
say hit him with some definitions here. It's the people like the wine snobs that have like the glass around their neck that are like, well, I can tell by the taste of the grape that this is a
There's people like that?
72 vintage of this. Oh yeah.
Wait, people wear glasses around their neck?
Oh yeah.
That's a thing?
That's a thing.
It's more at tastings, but a sommelier is actually a profession that
Yeah.
people can do.
You get paid to do that?
Yes.
Yeah, you have to go
But-
to school to be a sommelier.
Wait a minute. Hang on. I'm going to go one step. There's a school for that?
You can't make your voice.
I
any
can't
higher.
go
You
any
reach
higher. There's a
peak
school for
incredulous.
this?
Yes.
There are people.
There's also a version for beer snobs. It's called a cicerone.
That one I did not know.
Yeah.
I did not know.
There's
that.
a beer snob profession.
Expert.
Yeah.
The
Sure.
equivalent of a sommelier for wine for beer is called a cicerone.
A cicerone?
Cicerone.
A cicero.
You're thinking pepperoni.
Cicerone.
Oh man.
You guys are not messing with me. This is real?
I will look-
The,
I
the
will-
beer one, I don't
The
know.
beer one I've never heard
But
of.
the wine one, people walk. Wait, first of all, so you go to school. I'm cracking on people. People are like, "You're such a jerk." Like, I can't believe. I mean, you went to school for this thing. Like, blah 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 blah. Like, I don't even care.
Yeah, we might be about to make somebody mad. Whatever.
People pay to go to school for that.
Apparently.
I-
First of all, how do you get paid to do the job? Like, you
Well,
get
I didn't
paid-
know you- I just
get
thought it was
paid
like-
to drink wine and be an expert in wine. I'm not interested in wine. Like, whatever. there's like 2 reds that I'll drink. I don't
You go to
care.
school? I didn't know that was a thing.
But beer, I can be paid to be a beer expert.
Well, you don't drink it though. You spit it out, right? I do know that they do that. They spit it out into a glass. Don't ask me how I know that. That's a very strange story.
I
www.cicerone.
the San Francisco tree. Ding ding.
You go and you say like, this is a bit of a hoppy beer. I'm not really big on this.
So-
a little bit too much malt in this 19
Now that
in the
you can tell
2018
that.
version of
You know this.
Anheuser-Busch.
You're also a beer drinker. You can absolutely go like, oh yeah, this is a really hoppy beer. This is a really malty beer. But specifically, the thing that I'm referencing, which I've almost forgotten my point at this time, is how you get to high-end snobbery where they think that they have this refined palate and can tell all of these differences. And then you do the same hustle on them where you go, here's some $9 box wine, and then tell them that it's this ultra expensive wine, and they go, this tastes delicious. Because you're lying to yourself. You don't have the refined palate that you think that you do. And same thing with the screens. You might think just because by comparison the iPhone XR versus the XS has less specs and it's not as sexy sounding and all this other crap, and then you see them side by side and take out the human element of, oh, well, I can tell that that's a XR. Oh.
No, you can't.
Oh. Suddenly it doesn't look that bad. Suddenly the pictures look pretty good. Fanboyism 101. That's how it works, man. And now I have a new career aspiration because now I want to get paid to drink beer.
You want to be a Cicerone.
Yes.
I cannot believe, like, I'm over here just stewing, like, there's people over here that went,
meanwhile-
like, I don't know what's more like going to school for things. Look, I went to school for sociology. Ain't nobody using that. I get it. I don't use it any day.
I think
I don't
it's-
use it at all.
You may not use it every day, but sociology is super useful. Just like philosophy, I wish I would have taken more philosophy classes in school. I love
get that.
philosophy.
Like, and I had
super useful in my day in and day out.
I had no idea that you could go to school to be a wine connoisseur and then wear a,
Yeah.
first of all, the glass around your neck
Look,
thing. That just gets me. Like,
I'm telling you right
I don't
now,
know how to
as
do
soon
that
as the
one.
camera goes off, and I don't know about you, but I don't have much more to talk about, so we're probably going to wrap it up here in a minute, but as soon as the camera goes off, it's about to turn into a zoo when we start bringing up videos of sommeliers, and you get to see the giant, ridiculous glass that they have on the neck. It's
I'll be
so
honest,
great.
I feel like Bert Kreischer right now, like with the one particular thing that he talks about in his stand-up.
the reference you are making.
Yeah, I feel like
visiting
that.
a house.
Visiting a house in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
I feel like they kept her in the closet. Like, I feel like that's where I'm at right now. Like, people go to school for that. Oh God! I am a mess.
Oh,
I
Miss
made
Sheila.
no friends.
Miss Sheila, you made a mistake, man. She goes, I love philosophy. I'm your guy. I read a lot about philosophy.
So
I love
fun.
philosophy.
I know this about Greg,
Yeah.
but fun story. I crack on the sociology thing. I was a sociology major for my undergrad, sociology and psychology, and I loved it. And I do.
Useful.
It's very useful.
Every single day,
It's
yeah.
extremely useful. But I don't use that practical application of some of the things that I learned.
Because some of it's very manipulative. Let's be real.
Yes.
Super duper manipulative.
So yeah,
But as
basically,
far as
I could be a terrible person.
you could,
I
Well,
am.
You are. So philosophy, there is the process of belief, like the idea of like examining the things that you believe and then asking critical questions as far as like why do you have this belief, or examining things that you know and then understanding that it's a belief and not a knowledge. It's not a domain. Yeah, you don't know it. It's just a thing that you believe because you've never taken the time to be really introspective about, well, how did I come to this conclusion? Like, I think this, but why do I think that? Has been no BS, life-changing for me. It's absolutely changed me fundamentally at my core, and it's absolutely made me fall in love with philosophy. It's one of my all-time. Plato's Allegory of the Cave is one of my all-time favorite, life-changing. Absolutely changed how I think about things, how I think about the world. Yeah,
Never read it. Is it long?
It's a philosophical concept. I can pitch it to you quickly, and you go, "Oh, got it." But yeah,
Off camera.
yeah, I was gonna say we'll do it off camera. No one else is gonna be interested except for me and Miss Sheila. So
I have nothing else.
I got nothing else too, man. We talked about Samsung. We talked about Apple. I think I'm good. What?
His name was John Cena.
And his name.
I can't scream it, but
That's
I can
fair
try.
enough. All right, that's going to do it for us for this week. Thank you all so much for stopping by to check out the
Street closet.
way to derail me. I appreciate everybody's time and eyeballs. This has been the Technically Speaking Live experience. We'll see you next week.
Yes, might have an in-studio live guest.
Oh.
Yes, you don't even know this one. Might be an in-studio live
I have an
guest
idea. It's somebody that we've talked about in the past.
of the boom
Yeah.
variety.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes! I'm excited for this one. This is a cool cat,
He
man.
is currently on the calendar.
I sincerely hope this one works. We were supposed to have a guest today, but
Zach reached out to me. It was just a bad timing on. It was poor planning on my part.
okay.
So
That's super unfortunate. I was looking forward to having him on the show too to talk to him.
we'll
so
have him on.
We'll get it back. We got to
Probably not Thanksgiving.
Yeah, probably not. I forgot about that one. That's
2
2
weeks?
weeks from now? Yeah. So 2 weeks from now we will not have a live show. I'm not going to interrupt your Thanksgiving. I'm not interrupting my Thanksgiving. If you think I'm going to stop eating
Come on,
to
let's
hang out with him,
do it.
you're out of your mind.
Why?
No.
Why?
Because I don't like
We
you.
could do a Black Friday special. Look what I can do. Oh, yeah.
All right, everybody. I'm out. I got nothing.
Oh,
Hang on.
what?
Sheila says not one word about Google Plus next time for sure. Google Plus is being closed, and nobody anywhere is surprised by that.
I'm so sad.
You're sad by that?
Google Plus was great. Oh, don't even. You're about to lose Miss Sheila if you say something bad about Google Plus.
It was mediocre at best.
They had some challenges.
That is the most PC way of phrasing it.
No, you want to know the most PC thing is an email I sent to you earlier today. You want to know the most PC thing? We'll take that one offline.
Oh, yeah, we got it.
That is the most PC thing you've read in a long time.
That's accurate. I wish everybody else had any clue what we were talking about. That's all I got. We'll see you all next time. Bye. Love you, mean it. Hugs and kisses.
I'm going to try to transition the microphone still
will see
live.
what
Hang on a
happens.
second.
Yeah, no.